Have you ever woken up after a full night's sleep, only to feel mentally exhausted before the day even begins? Not physically tired, but heavy, unfocused, and drained. For many people, this has become a quiet, daily experience, so common that it's often ignored. Mental fatigue isn't just about being busy or stressed. It's a signal, one that your mind has been under constant pressure, often without enough true recovery. Today, we'll explore why mental fatigue happens, why rest alone doesn't always fix it, and what it means for your long-term mental and emotional health. Mental fatigue isn't the same as feeling sleepy. It's a state where your brain struggles to maintain focus, motivation, and emotional balance, even when your body seems fine. You may notice difficulty concentrating on simple tasks, slower thinking or forgetfulness, emotional irritability or numbness, a sense of being overwhelmed by small decisions. Unlike physical fatigue, mental fatigue builds silently. And one of the biggest misconceptions is believing that sleep alone is enough to resolve it. So why does this happen? Modern life places constant demands on cognitive energy. Your brain is rarely idle. Notifications, emails, news cycles, multitasking, decision-making from morning to night. Even during rest, the mind often stays active, scrolling, comparing, reacting. This creates a situation where your body rests, but your brain never truly powers down. Over time, this continuous stimulation leads to depleted mental resources, reduced emotional resilience, slower recovery after stress. So when you wake up tired despite resting, it's not because rest failed, it's because recovery never fully happened. From a biological perspective, mental fatigue is closely linked to how the brain manages energy and stress. When the brain is under prolonged cognitive load, stress hormones remain elevated. Neural circuits responsible for focus become less efficient. Emotional regulation weakens. The prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for decision-making and self-control, becomes overworked. At the same time, the brain's default mode network, which supports reflection and mental reset, doesn't get enough space to function. In simple terms, the brain stays in task mode for too long and never fully returns to recovery mode. This imbalance is subtle, but powerful. So what does this mean in real life? Mental fatigue often shows up as feeling productive but never satisfied, losing enjoyment in things you once liked, becoming easily frustrated or emotionally flat, relying more on caffeine, sugar, or stimulation to get through the day. Over time, this can affect work performance, relationships, motivation, mental well-being. Left unaddressed, chronic mental fatigue increases the risk of burnout, anxiety, and long-term emotional exhaustion. And the most concerning part, many people normalize it, assuming this is just how adult life feels. Mental fatigue isn't just about today's tiredness. It shapes how the brain adapts over time. When mental overload becomes the norm, stress responses become more reactive. Focus and memory gradually decline. Emotional recovery takes longer. This doesn't happen overnight. It happens slowly, through years of unmanaged cognitive strain. Understanding this is important, because prevention isn't about dramatic changes. It's about restoring balance before exhaustion becomes permanent. Small adjustments can make a meaningful difference. Here are a few gentle, realistic strategies. First, reduce cognitive noise, not just physical activity. Short periods without screens or information allow the brain to reset. Second, separate rest from stimulation. Rest doesn't mean consuming content. It means mental quiet. Third, protect mental boundaries. Limit unnecessary decisions, multitasking, and constant availability. Fourth, support your brain through daily rhythms. Regular sleep timing, natural light exposure, and brief movement breaks help regulate mental energy. And finally, listen to mental signals early. Mental fatigue is not weakness, it's feedback. Mental fatigue doesn't mean you're lazy, unmotivated, or failing. It means your mind has been carrying more than it was designed to hold without recovery. Health is rarely about pushing harder. It's about understanding your limits, respecting your brain's need for balance, and making thoughtful choices, one day at a time. When you give your mind space to recover, clarity often returns naturally.